The parents of these children don't know whether to laugh or cry. Their daughter ran more than 50 meters to kick the ball while he was recording. I sped it up since it took her a while to get there, but when she went to kick, she missed. All that running was pointless. The father burst out laughing. A family is taking a peaceful walk, but the boy imagines the green pipe from Mario Bros and impulsively jumps. Fortunately, they got him out safely and the boy was unharmed, but I'm sure his mom scolded him for playing too many video games. A father spent weeks building a model spaceship for his son, but as soon as he gave it to him, this happened. The father's efforts were ruined in seconds. The boy is playing with the giant remote-controlled spider he was given, but he decides to turn it toward himself and starts operating it. He gets an incredible scare. The worst ways in which animals have lost their lives. Rudy Jesus Barajas, 30 years old, had a poodle named Spunky, just 10 months old. One day he was playing with him in the front yard when a neighbor's pit bull arrived and attacked him, ending his life. Rudy, seeing this, couldn't contain his fury, so he grabbed the pit bull and took it inside his house. The man, without hesitation, took a knife and killed the animal. Sugar, a 6-year-old cat. A neighbor found it in his house, and since he didn't know whose it was and didn't dare to catch it, he decided to call the police for help. But this was a big mistake because after searching the whole house with the police officer, they discovered that it was hiding under the garden barbecue. At that moment, the police officer declared the animal a neighborhood danger and shot it. An actual god recorded on video. On June 25th, 2018, this clip was recorded in China. In an almost clear sky, you can see a strange illuminated cloud formation. The clip quickly went viral and people claim that it's the eye of God looking at the earth. The most incredible thing of all is that just a day before, this clip also went viral. A person was live streaming a storm and captured this. You can clearly see something shaped like a person walking among the clouds. And something similar happened to this guy while he was also recording a storm. At the moment when the lightning strikes and the sky lights up, you can see the shape of a giant person walking with a cane. What do you think? Is this really God on camera or just an edited video? The worst ways people have lost their lives. This 41-year-old man named Hugo Avalos Shannon. Hugo worked as a cleaner in a meat processing plant. Hugo was cleaning the meat grinder when one of the hoses he was using to clean got stuck. When he tried to grab it, he fell into the machine, which tore him to pieces. When the other workers realized this and stopped the machine, it was already too late. Fabio Ezequiel Moraes, 35 years old. On December 20th, 2016, the man wanted to fulfill his dream of bungee jumping. Everything was supposed to be fine. Fabio wore proper safety gear and a large inflatable mattress was below just in case. But unfortunately, the ropes failed and he fell outside the mattress from a height of 40 meters. The worst part is that it was all recorded by a friend and quickly went viral on social media. People who turned everyday objects into art. Someone noticed that the nail clipper looked like a piano, so they put it on a sheet of paper and drew this. Clearly, they have a lot of imagination. These sunglasses were used to dress up the drawing of this girl. With the hair clip, a girl drew this, making the object look like a flute. This drawing is a bit riskier because they painted it on the wall to make it look like the helicopter is carrying away the light switch. I never would have thought of this. Without the drawing, I'd have trouble imagining an earphone looks like a shower. And this one is also a bit hard to see at first glance, but if you look closely, you can clearly see the elephant's face and trunk in the socket. A man with a lot of imagination turned this rusty door latch into a soldier with his weapon. This drawing is definitely on another level. Not only is it very creative, but it's also quite hard to do. Geniuses who beat the system. This guy's dad always brings a remote in his jacket when he goes to the bar. If he doesn't like what's on the bar's television, he just changes it and puts on whatever he wants. His girlfriend made it clear that it was absolutely forbidden for the new puppy to sleep with them in bed. And since the dog is man's best friend, he decided to sleep on the floor all night. Has it ever happened to you that you went to the beach and forgot to bring your umbrella? Well, this man found a solution with just a simple towel. He literally lives in the year 3024. And speaking of people who live in the future, this is how this guy never runs out of battery. He wears a solar panel hat. The little girl saw that the headphones were too big for her and she couldn't enjoy her games on the iPad. So she found a quick, cheap, and simple way to fix it. Photos taken at the precise moment. Although it may look like this kitten has a Bluetooth paw, it's actually just a piece of branch that it uses to play. At first glance, this photo is quite confusing, but don't worry, the baby inside the belly just stuck out its hand because it was very hot. A man saw this and couldn't help but take a picture since the tree was painted the same color as the man's shirt, making him look like a friendly tree. The owner couldn't find her dog anywhere until she looked closely at her bed and realized that the animal was lying on the drawing of a bear, camouflaging itself perfectly. When this man took a selfie in the landscape, his dog stood right behind him looking at the water, which makes it look like he has a tiny dog on his shoulder. If you look closely, this building isn't full of connected stairs, but the sun at that moment made the shadows of the balconies look like stairs. Animals that were painted by nature. Sometimes nature is very mean, and this innocent little dog doesn't know why people always come up to him laughing to pet him. The owner of this dog can say he has 2 pets because his little dog has a spot shaped like a cat. How many goats are in this picture? I see 3. Because this one has a spot where you can clearly see the shape of another goat. He realized that his little cow had spots that formed a smiley face, although it's a bit of a disturbing smiley face because it's a little scary. This cat is hiding something very adorable. When it puts its 2 back paws together, its fur forms a heart. Without a doubt, this is the most adorable dog butt I've ever seen in my entire life. Funny tattoos that will make you smile. A woman was born with her toes joined together and thought it would be funny to get a tattoo of scissors as if to say, "Cut here." Someone thought their life would be much better and easier if they got some Argyle socks tattooed on. I don't know if it turned out the way he expected, but I'm sure he saved a lot of money on socks. He loved his girlfriend so much that he got her face tattooed big on his arm, but she cheated on him with someone else, and this was his way of covering up the tattoo. A girl was born in China and was adopted by a family in the United States, and she got this tattoo that says "Made in China" to always remember her origins. When he was young, he got this tattoo, and when he grew up, he realized it was really ugly, so he got another tattoo to try to fix it. Street art that will make you smile. What used to be ordinary reflectors are now, thanks to an artist, part of a butterfly, which gives much more life to the wall. This artist took advantage of a little plant that grew between the stones to make it part of a small island for a little mouse. What used to be an abandoned and broken building became an amazing work of art. They used the shape of a collapsed wall as part of the skeleton's eyes. When an artist saw the old worn-out railing, he decided to make it fun by turning it into a roller coaster. This, on the other hand, is a clever way to make your broken bumper look a bit better with a witty drawing. This graffiti, besides being very realistic, is very clever because they used the branch sticking out from a tree behind the wall and turned it into the boy's hair. This is one of the best graffiti I've seen. It really looks like the skeleton wants to come out of the wall. Hero animals saving people's lives. A blind man was heading straight for a hole, but a little dog appeared and stood in his way so the man wouldn't fall. On top of that, he grabbed the cane with his mouth to lead him down the right path. A man was buried in the snow and a little wolf cub appeared. But instead of ignoring him, he started digging in the snow and he thought he was going to attack him. But no, he bit his glove and started pulling on it until he got him out of there. The animal wanted to save his life. This must be the most polite animal in all of history. While his caretakers were cleaning, this otter didn't want to waste any time and started picking up all the cones that were in the water. Without a doubt, he deserves to be given Employee of the Month. Funny tattoos that will make you smile. You have to be really brave to get this done on your face, but we can't deny that it's a pretty clever and funny tattoo. A man got this controversial tattoo because he was constantly wearing his pants low and thought this tattoo was a funny way to show the crack. He brought this photo to the tattoo artist and asked for his dog tattooed on his thigh, and the artist did this. If you look closely, they do resemble each other. Well, no, he definitely got scammed. This guy was very clever clever in choosing his tattoo because he got Michael Jackson's face, the eye tattoo referencing Mike Tyson, and the basketball jersey of Michael Jordan, his three idols in the same tattoo. Even though this tattoo looks well done, it has a very serious mistake. Have you figured it out yet? Moments when reality surpassed expectations. Usually in food advertisements, the product looks much bigger and more appetizing than it does in reality. But in this ice cream shop in Japan, it's the complete opposite since the ice cream they give you is twice as big as the one in the ad picture. Someone ordered this forest-themed cake from a bakery. They showed them this picture and asked if they could make exactly the same one. And surprisingly, the result was much better than they expected. The edible animals looked higher quality, and they even made a tree trunk shaped base as a special touch. And this cake was even better. The person who ordered it for their birthday didn't show a reference photo but a drawing. And without a doubt, the result was incredible. He was really surprised to see that the cereal bars he bought were completely different from the image on the box. In reality, it had a lot more chocolate chips than in the picture. The parents of these kids don't know whether to laugh or cry. A girl hugged a boy and cried, not wanting to let go because she said she loved her brother very much. But the problem comes when we find out that the girl doesn't have a brother and what she's hugging is a mannequin. The girl became very angry and cried uncontrollably while playing Uno with her family. It's because her mother was about to play a draw 2 card on her. I'm not judging the girl because I would react the same way. Someone explained to me why this little boy does this. He leaves the bar with his juice, and when he notices a spill, he dumps it all on the table. If I had done that in front of my mother, she would have hit me with a sandal. This is the incredible reaction of a baby when he sees that his father got a new haircut and shaved his beard. The poor little guy immediately wants to cry. What they asked for versus what they got. A mother ordered a princess cake for her daughter's birthday, and the baker told her she had never made one before, but she could try, and this was the result. Instead of a fairy tale, it's more like a horror story. Honestly, decorating your table at Christmas with these cupcakes would look really good. Although the ad isn't realistic, compare it yourselves. Imagine spending $40 on a book that says Guided Meditation for Beginners on the cover. When you open it, one page says inhale, the next says exhale, and this pattern repeats throughout the book. Here we have Elsa, another princess who was requested on a cake, but the girl instead of Elsa got Eleonora, a 50-year-old lady who has suffered too much in life. And there was definitely something strange about this couch. The ad was too cheap to be true. People with incredible skills and talents. This guy has a skill that doesn't seem very useful, but it's definitely impressive. What he does is crush cans with his shoulders. We've all tried to do this with a similar object at some point, but I bet most people ended up hitting themselves. Riding a bike with no hands isn't that hard, but riding with no hands and no feet is on another level. On top of that, he dodges obstacles in an impressive way. I still don't really understand how this guy does it. Maybe he has a fake arm, a very realistic one, but it's pretty impressive. If you thought the female Venom didn't exist, you're very wrong. With a tongue like that, you could finish an ice cream in just 2 licks. And speaking of superheroes, here we have the real-life Spider-Man. It's true that the wall has small brick ridges, but they're so thin that what he's doing seems impossible for anyone. People who only had one job and did it horribly. This sign says School of Architecture and Planning, but I don't know how good the school is since they planned the sign so badly that the C ended up on the other wall. Pennywise, the clown from it, is going to have a hard time if these workers keep fixing the city streets. By just spraying this product on things, supposedly it stopped his dog from biting them since it gave them a bad taste. But obviously it's not very effective because literally the dog ate the whole thing. I understand it's not their job to clean the streets, but painting over whatever is there is pretty concerning. Someone ordered a burger and told the workers to only put ketchup on it, but they never imagined they would take it so literally. People who lost their lives while taking a selfie. Sanjay Dutta, Indian forest guard. A villager saw a python weighing over 40 kilos and 10 meters long eating a goat, so he quickly called the forest guard. When he arrived with his colleagues, it wasn't a big problem to catch the animal, but when they caught it, he decided to show the python to the whole village and let people take pictures with it. This was one of the photos they took at that moment, but the snake began to exert a lot of force, suffocating the man. Carter Christensen, 17 years old. The boy was climbing a mountain in Colorado, and halfway up he took out his phone. He took this selfie and posted it on his social media right away. Just a few moments later, he slipped and fell from a height of 30 meters. Some hikers who were nearby heard him, but they couldn't do anything to save his life. Photos taken at the exact moment. This person took a photo just as Godzilla seemed to be forming in the sky. But it's not just a cloud shape. The sun behind it and the combination of distant clouds make it look very realistic. In this photo, it looks like the man is getting a little kiss. As far as I know, horses with horns don't exist. In this case, the horse's owner took the photo when the animal was coming through the door and ended up in front of a horn decoration that was there. The owner of this cat took a very funny photo. It was drinking from the glass and it lines up perfectly with its nose. This photo captures the exact moment when a gymnast is performing and the judges are completely distracted looking down. Imagine preparing for several months and none of the 8 judges see you. A guy jumped into the water striking a pose and his friend took this photo at the perfect moment. Satisfying moments of instant karma. This man quickly regretted making fun of this squirrel because as soon as he showed her his finger, she bit him hard. A car saw that a guy on a bicycle stole a girl's phone and decided to stop him from getting away with it by running him over with the car. Although he risked trouble, he bravely stopped him from escaping. And this clearly shows instant karma. When he tried to pull his friend off the chair, karma made him end up on the floor instead. The truck in front was behind a motorcycle with a sidecar and the man was trying to pass it. But the guy on the motorcycle wouldn't move to the side no matter how much he honked the horn. So when the truck driver saw a puddle, he used it to teach the man a lesson. Do you think that's okay or was it an overreaction? The best store names in the world. Imagine opening a new butcher shop that only sells beef and naming it the Lord of the Steers. This grill promises you all kinds of meats in giant sizes. That's why they named it Jurassic Park. But which is better, the previous one or this bakery and pastry shop called Jurassic Pan? I've never in my life seen a car wash with such an original name as this one, Star Wash. Sometimes you have to take advantage of the businesses next to you to do good marketing, like this bar that has a pharmacy right next to it, and if you don't find the cure you need here, you're sure to find it at the bar Macy. This paddle club is only for believers. It's called Paddle Nuestro. This got sentimental. A cheese shop called Queseria de Mi Sinti. What would I do without you? The parents of these kids don't know whether to laugh or cry. Her husband lost his phone and couldn't find it anywhere, so she decided to check the security camera footage to see if she could find anything. And it turns out that while he was fixing a car, his son grabbed his phone and put it in the grill of the other car. Yeah, it's no wonder he couldn't find it anywhere. This is the reaction of some kids seeing their father without a beard for the first time in 10 years. It seems that the father without a beard looks really ugly because the girl starts crying on the bed and his little son tries to hide from him. A boy was feeding a giraffe, but when the animal bit the leaf, the boy didn't let go and ended up flying. Luckily, the parents were able to help him quickly, but honestly, they couldn't stop laughing. The worst ways animals have lost their lives. This Chinese man, whose name and age are unknown, adopted a small puppy just a few months old, but not to take care of it, instead to do something very bad with it. He started a live stream on a Chinese social network and dissected the poor animal while it was still alive. He confirmed that he did it to get revenge on animal lovers because he was stuck in a traffic jam due to a protest. He didn't arrive in time to see his dying relative. James Terrence Allen, 19 years old, was live streaming on a social network and promised that if he reached 100 viewers, he would do something horrible. Unfortunately, they reached that goal and the boy grabbed his turtle and set it on fire. The people who saw this obviously called the police and put the young man in jail. Funny tattoos that will make you smile. He got tired of spending a lot on Calvin Klein underwear, so he decided to get them tattooed so he'd have them forever. Can someone explain to me why this woman got a mustache tattooed below where the mustache should go? Many people, when they go bald, start wearing caps, hats, or some even get hair implants. But this man chose to handle his baldness with more humor. He loved Marvel and wanted all the superheroes tattooed, but got Ant-Man inked in a clever way. They had a birthmark that they didn't like at all and always thought it looked like a ghost, so they got this tattoo to complete it. This man lost his leg in an accident and decided to take it with humor. He got the phrase "1 foot in the grave" tattooed. Unusual couples you won't believe exist. Part 7. He is Anton Kraft, a 52-year-old American bodybuilder, and he became known as the strongest man on the planet. He stands just 1 meter 20 tall, yet can lift over 160 kilos, making his mass-to-power ratio remarkable. And he became even more famous when he made public his relationship with this 43-year-old woman named China Bell, who is 1 meter 90 tall. At first, neither of them was very convinced that this relationship was going to work. But over the years, it has been proven that their love is very strong and that size doesn't matter. This is Laura Messi, a 40-year-old woman, on her wedding day. It looks like a normal wedding, but there's something special about it. She married herself. She spent more than $15,000 and invited all her family and friends. May her love for herself last forever. The luckiest people in the world. This video captures the exact moment when this person drops their phone on a ride. But he was very lucky because the operator below was paying attention and managed to catch it without it getting any damage. During a powerful storm, a man tries to grab a chair that's about to fly away. But just before he does, a trampoline hits right there with a force that would have seriously hurt him. Even though he's drinking, this man doesn't lose his reflexes because he caught the baseball with his cup. This man was distracted when a stranger walked behind him and tapped him on the shoulder. The man turned around and at that moment a truck passed by with its back door open. The door was about to hit the man hard, but he managed to dodge it thanks to the stranger who tapped him on the shoulder. Do you think he was just lucky, or did a guardian angel save him from that hit? People having a worse day than you? He got into his car and saw that he had been robbed, but not his phone or wallet, his steering wheel. Now how was he supposed to get to work? He ordered a Coke while watching a game, but it wasn't a good idea to put it in the cup holder because the guy in front put all his dreadlocks in it. He woke up to a loud noise, and not only was his house damaged, but everything that broke fell right on top of his new car. Can you imagine going to your car for work in the morning and finding this on the handle? I'm telling you, I wouldn't put my hand in there, even for a lot of money. After a long train ride, he arrived at his stop, and when the door opened, he found this. Now, how does he get out? A woman accidentally pulled out her eyelashes, but the worst part is that it happened just an hour before her wedding.